This video is sponsored by True Gold Republic, the precious metals experts. Talk to one of their experts today about diversifying your portfolio to help assure your future financial security. Find their contact information in the description below and pinned in our first comment. James Kaufman, World News Report today, June 21st, 2024. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. Ladies and gentlemen, Earth's electromagnetic field has been taking a walloping, and it started, briefly before 10 UTC time, which would have been about 3 a.m. this morning centrally, and it really took off just after 12 UTC time, which would have been 5 a.m. this central. And I tell you what, it was hard to get up today for me. This is intensified. We have spikes that look like they literally have gone off the chart at 1600 hertz. But regularly we're seeing spikes around 800 to 900 hertz in here. A couple that seem much stronger that may or may not go off the charts here at 1600 hertz. And this is ongoing through about 1700 UTC on this chart. Now this is a bit dated, but we'll be able to see real-time information on the 6-day comparison. What usually happens when our electromagnetic field is taking a walloping? Well, our Schumann resonance is spiking hard. Let's take a look together. Over to our Schumann resonance, and wouldn't you know it, we see a little action before 10. It spikes up to about 20 hertz, which is not a huge spike. In between 10 and 12, we do have some action that's more intense than that, and then we just go off the charts. The charts end at 105 hertz. These spikes go much higher, as one can tell. We have a bit of a lull here, and then we're at it again, spiking continuously. Please take a look at the pink up here. These are our geophones. They are off the measuring charts, if you will. These are strong geophone hits. Taking a look at our 6-day comparison of our Schumann resonance, we had some action yesterday, and I missed the last part there, or I would have reported it, but again, it just wasn't intense enough to do a report on. You can see today we've really had some action. We talked about, it starting at about 10. It looks like we also had an episode right around 5 UTC time, which would have been midnight, and a major spike here. It's probably about 9 UTC time, or about 2 a.m. in the morning, to have a little lull and then increase off the charts here ending at 50 hertz. Why are the charts end at 50 hertz, James? Because the highest Schumann resonance spike we had ever seen until 2017, prior to the building of these models, was 37 hertz. James, why are the Schumann resonance spikes going so much higher and higher each year? Well, I will explain all that to you. Taking a look at our hourly Geophone strips, we can see some strips lighting up, but they used to light up like Christmas trees. And I'm about 99.9% certain this is because these geophones are covered in heavy snow in the area. I say this because I've seen pictures from around the modeling station. All right, we see that first activity we talked about right around 5 UTC time. We nailed that. The lull, and then another spike at 8 UTC time. 5 UTC time is, remember we said midnight central, and 8 UTC times, about 1 central. And then we've basically had an increase since then. This is best seen with our ULF noise sensors and our ELF noise sensors, and our second SR frequency, which dips instead of spikes during these events. Our geophones finally did move, but not until the very peak here. The geophones have not had a lot of movement in weeks, Again, I believe that's because they're covered in heavy layers of snow. But this is confirmed, and it looks like this is going to definitely be going into real time or current time. It is currently 1700 UTC. The spikes are still off the charts, as we saw in the 6-day comparison, and that would be noon here centrally in the US. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the same old agitator as always. Lightning, a lightning storm over the modeling station here. But we've had lightning for years and years, since the Schumann resonance was discovered. And we've never seen spikes like we are seeing now. This is because, and I will try to prove that to you guys, our atmosphere is collapsing as our poles or magnetic poles shift. They're right now headed to meet somewhere north of Indonesia. And when a positive hits a negative, I'm not quite sure what will happen. Hopefully they'll go right by each other. But in the meantime, as the magnetic poles move, more and more of our atmosphere is depleted. Now we'll show y'all a write-up or how that works. First of all, we'll go in and take a look at our modeling center, which is going to be right there. And you can see it's been through thunder showers for the last several hours, and that might be letting up for a bit. So we might see a break in the Schumann resonance for an hour or two until the next thunderstorm comes through, unless these are close enough to actually, well, be measured by the sensors. Now, I'm going over to NOAA's Discover Real-Time Solar Wind Satellite to show you the pink here. The pink means our basically shields are down. Now, this would rise into blue if we had space weather. Our shields work like a callus on your foot. The more they're needed and used, the stronger they get. So right now, our shields are completely down. No space weather is impacting planet Earth, and that allows the Schumann resonance spikes to bounce off a much lower part of the atmosphere. And I will show you what I mean by that as well. Now, let's start off by saying, after I figured this theory out, and it tested and tested and tested repeatedly, I found hundreds of papers covering this exact information. So what do we have here? We have our lightning, which is our agitator, and that bounces into our atmosphere. It used to bounce off our F layer or E layer. Both of them have an F1, F2, E1, E2. Well, those layers are down. We just saw that. So what it's doing, it's bouncing off the D layer. And since the D layer is our, well, very lowest layer of our atmosphere, it's returning to the sensors with much more velocity and much more energy, i.e. spiking harder on the sensors each year as the atmosphere depletes more and more as the poles or the magnetic poles flip. Now, I believe this is on a 3,600-year cycle, and it's go time, right? Now, this definitely can affect all living creatures and animals. Our resting Schumann resonance is 7.83. Your personal Schumann resonance can go even lower than that while you're resting or sleeping. Now, these spikes go to 105 plus hertz here, and these are not healthy. I've seen spikes or studies on spikes that go to about 15 hertz that actually show improved mental and physical capabilities in humans as long as they return to 7.83 or lower and are able to rehabilitate after those spikes. Now, spikes above 15 hertz were shown to be detrimental to living animals and, well, everything living on planet Earth. This is better known as Earth's heartbeat. Now, this definitely affects people in different ways. I would love to know how you're affected. For me, it just wipes me out completely. and it is not good for my cognitive or my physical abilities. Some people say they feel bliss. Now, regularly, with an increased vibration and frequency, you would be talking about ascending into a higher dimension, and that's mathematically proven. However, again, I don't think that's what's happening in this instance. I think that these, agitators are actually rebounding off the lowest part of our atmosphere, causing the spikes to increase higher and higher each year, from 37 hertz being the highest ever in 2017 to well over 200 hertz in the last year, and probably going higher because of the atmosphere depleting, and that's happening, I believe, because of the magnetic pole shift. With that said, please let me know how this makes you feel in the comments below, and please share, please subscribe. Always remember, anything's possible. Bizarro world. God bless you all.